Hi, welcome to Cooking with Two Fat Cooks. Today we are going to cook a super easy supper using some fresh local tomatoes. If you don't have any tomatoes in your freezer or in refrigerator, you can use some canned tomatoes. You want the big can. This is what, 28 ounces. This is 2 pounds of tomatoes. They're close enough for hand grenades. We're making sauce. So peeled plum tomatoes or stewed if you can't find the whole ones.
Not stewed. You want
puree?
No, what the can says.
Peeled plum tomatoes. I'm saying if they can't find whole ones, they can use
stewed tomatoes has other spices and stuff in it, usually celery and such.
Well, they make one that's all pureed up. I guess it's probably puree. So if you have to, you can find puree. Yeah, or crushed. Crushed would work. Don't use cubed, diced. Don't use diced. Diced has calcium chloride in it to keep them firmly diced, and that is not what we want with this sauce. So you can use pretty much anything, but don't use diced.
It's fine.
So I have 2 pounds of tomatoes or a 28-ounce can in my pan. I'm going to quarter an onion. The onion is going in huge chunks, and so it's super easy to do. Requires absolutely no finesse. I'm going to take my little core off. I'm going to turn my knife around the right way. Professional hint, you're welcome. So this is it, right in the water, or tomatoes, not water. Take my little core end off. Boom. You can use any onion you have on hand. This is a yellow onion, I guess. Because we often have the red onions, which are purple, so I don't know why they're called red onions. We use those all the time.
They used to be Spanish. I don't think we do that anymore. Probably not.
Which is weird. It's not an insult. It's like, you have a lovely tomato. Thank you. You're welcome.
Not where I was going. That's weird.
So we've got the onions in. 2 tablespoons of butter. This happens to be unsalted because that's what we have in the house. It can be salted. That's perfectly fine. You don't have to cut it up. We're just chucking it in. And now, since these are fresh whole tomatoes and they have no salt, I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of salt. If your canned tomato has no salt, you'll want to add a half a teaspoon of salt. If your canned tomatoes have salt, we are trying to figure out how much salt's in the average can so we can tell you how much salt to add. I'll add it to the bottom when we find it out. Eric is doing some research on that and he'll get us some answers here soon. So this is it. We're going to take this pan, we're going to put it on our burner on one button up from the lowest the burner does. It's a 2, well, not even a 2, I guess it's a 1 in our case, with little dots for the even numbers. And it's going to cook for 45 minutes, period. There's no guessing, there's no figuring out. I'm going to put 45 minutes on my timer, hit start. And when it beeps, we'll turn this baby back on and show you how to finish it up. That is literally it. So now for 45 minutes, you have time to wash the dog, scrub the car, make noodles. We're going to be using some noodles from our local market, which are wonderful and fresh. Take a nap if no one else is home. I'm just saying, you got a timer. Yes. But you've got 45 minutes to do whatever you want to do. This requires absolutely no babysitting. And when we come back, you're going to have a lovely sauce. All right, our 45 minutes is up. You can see the bubbling and the little butter on top. Now, you can pull the onions out if you want to. Personally, we like to leave them in. They add a little bit more fiber to the dish. They're delicious. And surprisingly, for the amount of onion to tomato, this doesn't taste like onions. Onions just gives us a really lovely, not just a boiled pan of tomato taste, but it doesn't taste like onions. And you can trust me on that one because I'm not particularly fond of onions. So we're going to leave our onions in and run the immersion blender through them so that we end up with a lovely, smooth sauce. If you don't have an immersion blender, but you have a regular blender, you can use that. Just remember to put a little towel over the top in case it burps on you being a hot liquid. I love how it turns into an orange color. I guess maybe the butter, the emulsion.
Yeah.
Well, that's just fun. And there we are. We have a gorgeous tomato sauce in very little hands-on time or effort. I'm gonna taste it to see if it needs a little more salt. Yeah, I think I would put a little more in, so I'm gonna add a pinch of salt to that.
Now make it the first time, obviously, on the recipe. See what you think about it. You could add some garlic to this at the beginning, just probably whole clove, and just let it cook down. And then
Yes.
blitz it with everything else. You could probably add a little bit of fresh herb or dried herb to it, oregano, that sort of thing.
So we like to throw some garlic in.
Yeah.
I really like the simpleness of this. It goes with anything. Your pickiest eater, being me in this household, will eat it and love it. It's really simple for a weeknight, and it just accents whatever it is you're going to serve it with. You can serve it with anything. Ours, we're going to make some noodles and throw some leftover chicken on top and have a kind of quick and easy chicken parmesan. So it's really versatile, it's really easy, and like Eric said, you can dress it up, but make it this way first so that you know what the base tastes like, and then from there tweak it and make it your own. I hope you enjoy.